Hi everyone, welcome back to my YouTube channel. My name is Rejoice. If you've been here before, welcome back. And if you're joining me for the first time, I love you so much, and thank you so much for joining me. Today, I want to talk about something controversial. I hope it's not gonna be. But anyway, I want to talk about following, or followers, or fellowship, whatever you may want to call it. But I want to talk about the people that we follow, the people that we follow. Yes. I want to talk about that. And I felt like for me to make this more interesting, I would invite a friend, a sister, this little girl that I love so much. She's not so little, but anyway, I have a friend with me here today to be a guest on our show. Her name is Vimbai Elaine Musabaeka. So help me to welcome Vimbai. Drum roll, please.
Thank you. Thank you so much. Thank you.
You're welcome. You're welcome. Okay, so Vimbai, we're talking about followers or following. This is more popular on Twitter and Instagram.
Yeah.
How many followers do you have on Instagram?
On Instagram, I have about 1,000 followers.
How many people are you following?
I haven't checked.
Okay.
But around about the same number as well.
Okay. What determines who you follow or why you follow them?
A number of things, but based on my character, I guess.
Yes.
And how I operate.
Okay.
For instance, I'm into home decor a lot, so I like to follow people who also have the same thing that light up my bulb. I'm into Christianity.
Okay.
So yes, anyone who moves me or who I feel like I can connect with, even though we don't know each other or we may know each other, I then follow. And so it's like that. A lot with the other categories.
Okay, that's good. Okay, how about you actually tell us a bit more about yourself before we get, so that people can understand home decor, Christianity.
Yeah.
Yes. Who's Vimbai?
Vimbai is, I always find it's a difficult question to answer. But I mean she's a vibrant person. I like to say I'm after God's heart.
Okay.
You know, I've always been about God even before I could understand, and so I think that is the main story of my life. Jesus is my savior, and I get to see more and more of that every day. I'm also a very vibrant person, so I like the space I'm in. I guess that's where home decor comes in, making it look better. I always want to look better, be better, or make it better if it's possible. I'm a sister as well. I'm a pace setter, I believe, and I'm just loving.
I know the loving part. That's okay. But my question to you, first off, as a viewer, have you ever sat down and asked yourself, why am I following this person? I've had this conviction for a few months now, and I was having this conversation with a friend where I was asking that, why do we follow the people that we follow? So I'm going to make this a bit deep from a Christian understanding and a Christian perspective of the disciples being the followers of Christ. I guess you understand that, Vimbai, how the 12 disciples were said to be the followers of Christ. And so we understand that by following Christ, they were being discipled in a certain way, so they would follow what he did, which is where the word Christianity means, because they were living a Christ-like life. The people that we follow, if we follow celebrities that don't believe in God, or that do the things that are against the word of God, does it not also mean that we are being discipled to be like them? Because like I was saying, I want to make this a bit deep and interesting, by thinking that by pressing that follow button, you're saying, I am choosing to be your disciple, therefore I'm choosing to be taught by you, to submit to the altar that you submit to, and take off things from what you believe. What's your take on that?
I believe that largely true, because from personal experience, I've also had to unfollow a couple of people before we entered into this year, asking why I still follow this particular person. Because I see that in as much as I feel like social media is a jungle, it's a lot. There's a lot going on.
That's true.
With the few people that I closely follow, I tend to become more and more like them.
Okay.
Whether I want to admit it or not, but I somehow I end up picking bits and pieces of who they are, or I end up praying to get something, that they have. It may be even physical, but I do believe that when we choose to follow someone subconsciously, sometimes consciously, but mostly subconsciously, we tend to pick up bits and pieces of people around us.
That's an interesting perspective. From what you're saying, I had to unfollow one person because they were putting pressure on my life. Like I always felt like I'm too far behind. Like I felt like they were progressing more than I was. But that's very interesting. We have defined what a follower is. I put it in the perspective of a disciple. Do we know the people that we follow? Like, do we know who they submit to? Do we know who they believe in? For example, if I'm following a celebrity because they're living a good life, because they're rich, because they are famous, do I also know what they stand for, their values, their principles? Or it's just for the fact of because they have 4 million followers, I should be the 4 million in one, so I press that follow button? Do you ever do that check on the people that you follow outside of your Christian community?
I mean, I do have people that I know for sure, maybe not know for sure, but they don't have it in their bio that, that they follow Jesus. But it may be something else that intrigues me, There are some people who are successful, despite whatever they believe in. And I guess I choose to, I think that's where filtering comes in, where you choose to, you're picking up a principle. I'm picking up this principle. But I guess it is always safer, especially when it comes to success principles and things like that, to combine that with Christianity. But I guess also just being a wise person, if you are choosing, and if you don't know what kind of people, whatever it is that they submit to, you're picking up a principle added on top of your wisdom of Christ, and see how that comes into play.
That's good. That's good. I was saying something towards submitting to altars that we have no idea of. When I was thinking about this whole aspect of just following people, I was thinking, spiritually, what impacts does it have on my Christianity when I press that follow button on someone that I just know they're successful, like you're saying? And it's intriguing for us young people to see someone who's doing well. Probably they're my age, they have a house, they have a car, they're running a flourishing business. But what altar do they serve, or who do they serve? Where do they get the success from? Is it from God, or they're getting it from elsewhere? Which is one thing that I feel like women, not to say that men are not affected by this, but I feel like young ladies of nowadays have been so influenced by following the influential ladies, but we don't even know what they do to get the success that they have. How do they get it? What did they have to sacrifice to be where they are? How has the social norms of following influential people because they are successful, they're rich, they're young, how has that also affected or infected or impacted your life since we're living in a very digital world, especially with COVID? How has that influenced your decision on who you follow and why you follow them?
I'll be honest with you, I think I only thought about it this morning deeply, because my sister was telling me how she had a weird dream of how someone that she doesn't necessarily follow them, but I mean they're a socialite, and she had a weird dream about them, and it was freaky. And only then did we say, I think we should actually watch who we follow, because we don't know.
Exactly.
And I guess I hadn't actually prayed. I mean, I just follow, honestly.
Yes.
But I mean, I guess now I also want to pray for wisdom, because it can be scary. That is true. You don't know, especially when I'm saying that you can subconsciously pick up things, if they walk a certain way, you can subconsciously pick that up because you like them that much. I think it is a matter of actually being careful who you choose to follow, and you never know what impact it can actually have. So yeah,
that's true. And then lastly, I feel like the covenants that we've made in the spiritual realms without knowing, by following certain people. I know that this may seem a little too deep, a little too Christian-y, but I feel like it's true. There are certain things that we get ourselves involved in. Yesterday I was having this conversation with a friend. There's this song that's been very popular lately, but my friend was telling me that I actually went and looked up the lyrics, and there's a question in one of the lyrics that says, do you want to join a cult, or something along those lines. But we love the song, we jam and groove to it, but we don't know what it really means. What do you think that what impacts do you think has come from following certain people that you don't know about? Like you're saying, we pick bits and pieces off of their character, off of their livelihood, off of their I don't know, whatever it is that they put out there. Have you ever impulsively bought something because a celebrity has it? Have you impulsively posted a picture posing in a certain way because you want people to feel like that's the life that you're living, but it's an impact that's coming from the people that you follow? It's something that has subconsciously been registered in your mind of that person that you're following.
I have.
We all have.
No lie, especially with my self-care regimen. It's largely influenced by the people I follow on social media. It can be positive, but again, like what you're saying, because we don't know, I guess it can also be negative. So I mean, I think it's a matter of using wisdom, which is something that we don't mention when it comes to social media. That's true. We go to social media to refresh and things like that. But I mean, considering where the world is going, we're moving a lot to social media, and we also need to be very careful with what we choose to follow. You know, it shapes us in a way. I'll be very honest. I've been shaped by a lot of the things that I see, or a lot of the people that I follow. You know, it's even shaped some of my prayers. And so I think it is actually a matter of being very careful. Asking yourself why you're following is an important question. How is it tying to you? You know, because you can't just follow what you don't understand. If it's the way that they post their reels or whatever it is, how is it tying to you? I have a friend of mine who does videos on organization. Like, it helps me. It needs to tie to you. Do you understand what they're doing? You know, because like you're saying, this song, they're singing about joining a cult with no idea that this is what's happening. So I think also an understanding of what they do is also very important. So I guess we just need to think twice, or think more when it comes to issues of social media who we follow.
Okay, thank you. Okay, it was lovely having you, Vimbai, today. But I would like to ask one last question. Do you have any closing remarks? How has it been living in the society of today as a young Christian woman? What are your words of advice to the other young ladies out there who are watching today?
I'll say we're all ourselves. The life that we portray sometimes looks one-sided on camera, but we're all getting somewhere. And so own everything. Own everything is the best thing that I can say. Own your struggles, own your gifts. We're so unique, and that makes us who we are. And I think the moment that we embrace it, we become more and more powerful. It's something that I'm learning myself. So own it.
Thank you so much, Vimbai, for joining me today. So guys, that was Vimbai Elaine Musabaek, who was here with me today to talk about the people that we follow, social media. I wanted to talk about this because I felt like it's something that's been happening lately. We follow so many people, we don't know their lives, we don't know what they do, we don't know who they believe in, but we feel like because I can find entertaining stuff or maybe motivation from what they're doing. But you need to also think about the fact that as you follow them, are you also not submitting to the altars that they submit to? This is a food for thought. It's a question for thought. It's a thought. But thank you so much for joining me today. I hope to see you next time. I hope that you will have something to say. Comment down in the section and tell me what you think about this topic. Thank you so much for joining me. Remember to like, subscribe, and share. See you next time. Bye.